Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Speak to Influence podcast. I'm Karen Sachs. Today, we are going to talk about those of us who wake up every day and wonder, how can I ruin my credibility? Okay, let's face it. None of us wake up and want to know how we can ruin our credibility. But there are things that people do every single day that impact their credibility in a negative way. The good news is that there are 10 things that I want to tell you about today that can help improve your credibility in everything that you do. And they all come down to communication skills. Let's get started. Your first one is to stop over explaining. So many people talk and talk and talk. They explain and then they explained what they explained. And that's not necessary. People who over-explain seem to want to compensate for something. It suggests a lack of credibility. It suggests that you don't know what you're talking about. And that's where point first communication comes in. Point first communication is where you start with the end in mind. First of all, what do you want to say to them? Then say it first. Say your point first. Then give a brief explanation. Follow up with next steps or action items, and then stop talking. Stop over explaining and start with point first communication. Number 2, people speak before they think. It's what my father used to say of my brother. He used to shut off his mouth before he loaded his brain. You want to make sure that you are prepared with what you want to say. And you do that by pausing. All you have to do is just take a moment to know the direction that you're going in. Back to point first communication. What is the one thing that I want people to remember when we're finished talking? And then that's the first thing that I want to say. You want to make sure that you are prepared for what you want to say before you say it. Number 3, don't answer every question immediately. Pause first. Because when you open your mouth before you've loaded your brain, you're making habit number 2's mistake. You don't want to speak before you've thought it through. So when someone asks you a question, make sure that you have the answer. And if you don't have it off the top of your head, pause. Even if that means asking, give me a minute to think about that. The 4th thing you want to do is stop using filler words. And that's more than just and ah. That includes words like, so, and, maybe. Also superfluous words like, and phrases like, well, I sort of kind of wanted to, well, maybe we could. Stop with the unnecessary words and filler words. It makes you look less credible. It makes you look less confident. And confidence ties into credibility credibly. Mistake number 5, apologizing too often. I used to do this all the time, constantly apologizing for what I was saying, when all I really needed to do was just say what I wanted to say. How many times have you heard someone say, well, I'm not sure if this is right, but if you don't think it's right, then don't say it. Everything you say should be said with confidence. Number 6, talking faster when you're nervous. Talking faster signals nervousness to other people, and nervousness questions their credibility. What are you trying to hide? Do you not know what you're talking about? You want to speak calmer and quieter and slower as often as possible. You'd be surprised how fast you probably talk. So listen to yourself more carefully. If you need to, slow down. When you slow down, It definitely gives the impression of confidence in your communication. Number 7. Mistake number 7 is ending statements and sounding like questions. You want to have vocal authority. Now, that would be when we ask a question, we normally finish the sentence on an up sound. Like, does that make sense? Well, if you're making a statement that says, so this is what I believe, there's a little bit of hesitation there when you say believe on the up note. That's a mistake that you don't want to make. You want to sound confident and have authority in all of your vocal communications. Speak with confidence. People will notice. Starting with unnecessary background. This goes back to over-explaining, where you feel that you need to build up with all of the context before you actually say what you want to say. Go back to point first communication. Point first, brief explanation, action items and next steps, and stop talking. Number 9, trying to sound intelligent. You are intelligent. You don't need to sound intelligent by adding bigger words, more advanced vocabulary. You just want to sound like you believe what you're saying. And this is where we get back to what are the things that people do to try to sound smarter? A lot of great leaders create understanding instead of starting to sound smarter. Don't worry about big vocabulary words. Simple is smart, and simple is what people understand. And finally, our 10th mistake is trying to sound perfect. People trust authenticity more than perfection. Don't try to sound perfect. Don't try to sound intelligent. Just be. Start with your point first. Don't over-explain. Pause as necessary and speak with confidence. So, what are the 10 mistakes that make people sound less credible? They over-explain. They speak before they think. They answer every question immediately. They use filler words. They talk faster when they're nervous. They end statements with question marks. They start with unnecessary background. They try to prove that they're intelligent in the things they say. And finally, they try to sound perfect. Now, which one of those do you do unconsciously? Think about it for a minute. Are you an over-explainer? Do you use a lot of filler words? Do you lead up with unnecessary background? Do you try to sound perfect or smarter with the words that you choose? Think about it and then write it down and make that your homework until I talk to you again on Sunday. Work on what you're doing unconsciously that makes you sound less credible. The steps to take to sound more credible: first and foremost, point first communication. Point, brief explanation, action items and next steps, stop talking. Number 2, pause. Don't answer your questions as soon as they're asked. 3, stop using filler words like and ah, maybe, possibly. Well, if I like apologizing too often and talking faster when you're nervous. These are just a few things that you could unconsciously be doing that are affecting your credibility and trustworthiness. You're smarter than that. Speak calmly, slowly, with pauses, point first. It will make a huge difference in the way that people perceive you. If today's conversation has helped you, I would love for you to join my free school community by going to school.com. That's SKOOL.com, and look for Act Like a Great Communicator. Subscribe for free where you'll get daily tips on how to communicate stronger, where you'll have a weekly masterclass on Wednesdays at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time, and where you'll have access to my Substack posts and podcasts. Thank you for joining me today. Look for my next podcast on Sunday, the 5th of July at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I look forward to seeing you there to help you become a stronger communicator. Bye.